Mariam and Mustafa, a married couple, hold different nationalities. Mariam, a Malaysian citizen, recently completed her Bachelor of Pharmacy at the University of London. On the other hand, Mustafa, who is a Canadian, is a registered pharmacist in Canada and also graduated from University of London 5 years ago. So they both plan to obtain registration as pharmacists in Malaysia. So the question A is, how many types of registration for a pharmacist? According to the Registration of Pharmacy Act 1952, under the section 6, 6b and also 11a, we have three types of registration for a pharmacist, which are professional registered pharmacists, full registered pharmacists, and also temporary registered pharmacists.
Okay, so next we will move on to the question B. The question asks us to describe the various procedures and requirements Mariam needs to fulfill to qualify herself as a full registered pharmacist. So, by referring to the Regulation of Pharmacies Act and Registration of Pharmacists Act regulations, according to Section 6A of ROPA, she needs to be provisionally registered to obtain experience as provided for in subsection 2 in order to entitle to apply for full registration under Section 6B. After being provisionally registered, she should be engaged in employment as a pharmacist to the satisfaction of the board for a period of not less than 1 year in any of the premises listed in the second schedule. However, the board may extend or for not more than 1 year of period of employment of a provisionally registered person if the board is not satisfied with her performance as a pharmacist. Besides, the provisional registration of Mariam shall be revoked if the person fails to comply with the subsection 2. Moreover, according to Section 6A, subsection 5, it is stated that the minister may from time to time, after consulting the board, add to, delete from, or amend the second schedule by order published in the Gazette. Plus, according to Section 6A, subsection 6, a provisionally registered person shall be deemed to be registered is necessary to enable her to enter upon and engage in the employment mentioned in the subsection 2, and also for the purposes of any written law or such other purposes as the minister may direct. Furthermore, the qualifications referred to in subsection 6.1 and has been registered by any registration body responsible for the registration of pharmacists recognized by the board. If the board is satisfied that Mariam has gained experience which is not less both in character and durations in an institution or hospital approved by the board. Lastly, in subsection 8, it is stated that Mariam as a provisionally registered person shall during the period of employment under subsection 2 be deemed to be a public servant within the meaning of the penal code. Thus, by following all of the stated procedures and requirements, Mariam can fulfill to qualify herself as a full registered pharmacist.
Next, I will explain more on procedures and requirements for Mariam to register as full registered pharmacist. According to Registration of Pharmacists Act under the Section 6b(1), subject to the provisions of this Act, no person shall be entitled to be a fully registered pharmacist under this Act unless he has, first, gained experience as required under Section 6A or been exempted under subsection 6A(7). From the Act stated, to qualify as full registered pharmacist, Mariam shall follow the requirement which is stated on Section 6A unless she gained experience, which referred as engagement as provisional registered pharmacist for minimum a year. Moreover, after fulfilling all the requirements, she may apply for registration according to Section 6B2 under the same Act, which is an application for full registration shall be in accordance with the provisions of this Act and the regulations made under this Act. However, in certain conditions, Mariam may have subject on such restrictions and conditions and may have registered if Minister, after consulting the board, for Mariam qualification is adequate, as stated in Section 6B3 of Registration of Pharmacists Act. notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in this Act. A person may, subject to such restrictions and conditions as may be stipulated by the Minister, be fully registered under this section if the person seeking registration under this subsection possesses a qualification which the Minister, after consulting the board, is satisfied is adequate.
So for the question C, the question is about can Mustafa register as a pharmacist in Malaysia, explained by quoting the section related to it. So according to Registration of Pharmacies Act, under the section 11A1, 2, 3 and 4, Mustafa cannot apply to become a permanent registered pharmacy, but he could apply for temporary registration. For the section 11A1, it had mentioned that the board may, upon application in writing, temporarily register, subject to such condition and restriction as the board deem fit to impose, a person who is registered as a pharmacist outside Malaysia. As for the 11A2, the board shall issue a person temporarily registered under the subsection 1 a temporary registration certificate. As for the section 11A3, the holder of such temporary registration certificate shall, while the certificate remain in force and subject to restriction and condition specified in the certificate, be deemed to a fully registered pharmacist. As for the section 11A4, the board may at any time cancel the temporary registration of a person under this section, and the temporary registration certificate issued to such person shall thereupon lapse.